I would have to. There's a lot of times, man, where I fall into that. I mean, like, it messes with me because I know, like, okay, you know that you don't have to react to this. You know you don't, and then I just act like a damn maniac, and I'm just crazy as far as, I'll kill it, but whatever. I fall back into some terrible thinking. So
But
that's
who's to say it's terrible thinking?
it is terrible thinking.
Okay.
Because it takes away from. I mean, it
But-
makes
but
me
what
feel like
if-
shit. Like, and I can't function for days. Like I shut down. Like
Yeah.
I mentally become special. I become special needs. Like I
But-
just can't think. My frontal lobe shuts the hell
But
down.
what if maybe it means, look, you can't keep letting things ride to build you up to that point.
if somebody knows they can get a reaction out of you, and you continue to give them that reaction? Some people, man, that's just their
I
thing.
know,
They get
I
off on
know.
it. They get off on a
But some
reaction.
people, some people could
Like, and I would say
jeopardize
more
themselves.
people, more people that say hurtful things to people are really looking for a reaction than anything else. I mean,
What's happening, y'all? Welcome to Hustle and Heart, where we confront hard issues like life after prison, addictions, and failure. Here to give you all the jewels you need to treasure your life and motivate you to go after the life you want. I'm your host, William Hustle, and I'm here with the one and only, the cuddly, the big teddy bear,
yeah.
my big brother. If it ain't love, it ain't right. Big Pat.
Glad to be here, man.
And we're continuing this Get It Out series. On this episode, we'll be talking about staying away from people who try to play with your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get it, big bro. What's going on?
Nothing. Really a good topic, and I think we've had other issues that have, touched on this as well, being around toxic people, but the energy that we surround ourselves with ultimately becomes our reality. I mean, the words that how we're treated, the environment we work in, live in. If we're being treated as less than, or if we're being berated or mentally, emotionally abused, then we set ourselves up for failure. The great news is that we have the power. We have the power to get ourselves out of that situation. We have the power to choose where we sit, what activities we do. We actually have, and ultimately our main power is how we react to the world around us. So best advice is always choose wisely. Choose your peace.
A lot of people say I play mind games because I don't deal with the in-betweens.
Mm-hmm.
I don't acknowledge the in-betweens.
Mm-hmm.
Because those things make me weaker. It's to the point, it's to the purpose, man. But let's groove a little bit, man, before we get our energy going, man. We got our own music now, man. You hear me?
Yeah.
Vondale Bachelor. Real talk. Get it out.
There it is.
I don't think everybody's intentions, before we jump into it, I don't believe everyone's intentions are to always mentally try to disturb other people. But I do believe that when we don't appreciate the things that we have, and I try not to speak just from a religious point of view, because like I say, you got religion, you got personal life, you got business. I believe different versions of what you must be. But I don't believe that consciously we as individuals understand that if we don't take control of how we're thinking at each morning, then we can go out here and ruin someone with our selfish ways of thinking.
No, I start each day with a positive quote, a motivation.
That's right.
And it's like going to the gym for me. I know that if I want to stay in shape, I have to go to the gym 4 or 5 days a week. Mentally, if you want to stay in shape and not be affected by a constant negative world that we live in, if you consume yourself with social media and news, there's no other way to go except to be overwhelmed by negativity. Positives, heartwarming stories don't sell and don't get people's attention.
It don't.
It has to be trauma. It has to be.
Here's somebody got beat up, got into some negative, like, but it's real what you just said.
That's it.
If I wake up and I watch Scarface,
yeah, man,
my mind is
right. I want to kill
somebody.
somebody.
A different mind frame.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill somebody.
But if I get up,
maybe do some cocaine.
And my wife, she gets on me at times. She be like, "What you listen to?" And I say, "Babe, I can't listen to rap all the time."
Yeah.
It's sometimes I have to mellow my soul down because I really been pumped up mentally at work. Mm-hmm. So I got to listen to some some air. Like I have to listen to some R&B and sometimes
whatever
I might
relaxes.
listen to a little Kurt Frank, but I have to.
Yeah, it has to relax your mind.
Our quote.
Oh yeah, we almost
quote of the day. Like, man, so before you get a quote of the day, I've been and I'm sorry when I see my mic going red, but I've been watching our shows, and I've realized that. See me, I work on a lot of different mental levels that I control, but I've realized that. A while ago, and you was around the witnesses that my the way I look at life and the joy, because I appreciate doing the things I'm able to do, and I used to make $18 a month in prison, working every day, $18 a month. So the appreciation I have for the things that I hustle for. Either you're able to think that way or you're not.
Yeah.
So
that's where we did. I mean, we'll all. We can't all of us think alike, but there's a couple different schools of thought as far as your money is everything. Money gets you to where you need to go, and then there's my school of thought that you can't take any of that fucking money with you. I'm sorry, you can't take any of that money with you.
But in the middle of that, what you always
you
leave
can't.
out,
There's peace. There's peace. But I mean, again. For the ultimate pursuit, if it's all materialism, if it's all material things, if that's the only thing, then the substance of what lies within our heart, our compassion, our soul, everything that really makes a difference in someone's life is secondary. And I can't think that way. I'll never be able to think that way.
But,
and I'm glad because again, you see people whose only thing is just their success, and everything is measured by wealth, by money, by materialism, and we came in with nothing, we'll leave with nothing. The only thing you have is how you've treated others, that feeling, that inner source of were you coming from a place of love, or were you coming from a place of, oh, how can I make a dime off somebody? And if it's the second, then I don't know if that's really living, man. It's not the life that I want, that I'd consider my best life. And again, we differ on
we just differ on things because the way you see money is not how I see money. Mm-hmm.
Right.
But we come from a place to where you've experienced things in life that majority where I come from haven't experienced. So you had generations of your family break things and sacrifice things and understand things to put future generations of your family in better positions. People where I come from, some of them never been outside Cincinnati.
I think what I really saw was my grandfather, who was an educator. The man would give you the shirt off his back, and he always came from a place of kindness, a place of understanding. It wasn't that he could have gone out and made, I mean, he could have been a professional baseball player. He was a great athlete. His only goal was to come back to Loveland, be an educator, be an administrator, and try to help kids.
And that's some people, and
that's not
and
a
that's
money,
your calling.
but that's not a money
Yeah.
thing. That's you. Your goal there isn't dollars. Your goal there, the ultimate goal there, is that you're actually making a difference in someone's life.
You have those special people in the world, just like you have those special people that have to financially contribute and help special causes for special people like that. Seriously.
Yeah.
Everybody has a role, and my role is, hey, I got to get out there and help financially because there's not a lot of things.
And I think that's a great point because people complement each other. And again, we're not. If we both thought the same way,
we wouldn't mix.
We'd be robots. I mean, we're not human.
Because I need your love when I'm looking at you. Like, look, bro.
But you financially, you're.
I have to stand for something because I can't fall for anything.
Right. But
then there's times I have to be the one to be like, no, bro.
Yeah.
This ain't the way of love. So.
And we've both experienced personally in our lives as far as being subjected to certain things that really test us. It really is like, is this where I need to be? I will say this. You have to be in uncomfortable situations, I think, to grow. Because if you're staying in a situation where everything is easy, then that's called complacency.
Yes.
Pushing our boundaries. And it's uncomfortable. And at times you want to perceive that uncomfortability as being mistreated, being around someone who doesn't really want your best or your best. Their words are somehow hurtful or have some malice.
And because we disagree don't mean that we don't want the best for each other.
No, but I'm saying the people that we've been around.
Yes, sir.
And ultimately, financially, we are both in a situation where I think I can speak for both of us. So we haven't made this much money before.
In question.
Because there's a person that we're affiliated with that pushes us.
He pushes us
outside of our comfortability and our
because you're not a money person.
No, I'm not.
You're like, and then that's what.
No, I'm not a money person.
Doesn't it feel good to know that you, your woman, and your family can sit out here and have conversations now like, hey, we could buy a house now.
Yeah, man.
Like,
I don't like to talk about my finances.
But that is a great feeling.
When you have over a certain amount, like let's put a number out there. You got, at one time in my life, I couldn't I couldn't save 2 nickels because when you're drinking, when you're on meth, when you're on coke, you don't save shit. But now I look and I'm throwing it. You get over $20,000 in your bank account, and you're like, damn.
In 2-3 months.
And it's like this is
2-3 months.
I mean, it's just like, wow. Now, the way I look at that is that I've given enough for that reciprocate back to me. And I have to, if I want to continue to see growth, because unfortunately you can't just say, I'm a loving being and I care about you and pay your rent and pay your bills, because nobody gives a shit.
Nobody.
But I will continue to try to be that change.
And I don't want to go back to the hood.
No. But change in the world starts with each of us individually.
Yes.
So staying in our power, staying on our peace, and being our best selves, regardless of what you feel your best self is, if it's money driven or whatever. Again, what I think if I agree with it, doesn't matter. Does it agree with you? Do you love yourself?
Love.
And when you can honestly say, hey, I know whatever situation I'm in is my best situation and I love myself, and that's it. That's the key.
Let's get to our
quote of the day.
Quote of the day.
All right. The Dalai Lama said, "When you think everything is someone else's fault, you will suffer a lot. When you realize that everything springs only from yourself, you will learn both peace and joy. When you move your focus from competition to contribution, life becomes a celebration. Never try to defeat people, just win their hearts. Today, remember to live a peaceful life. Don't judge others. Don't worry about what others say. Enjoy each and every day. Make peace with your past. Show your love. And most importantly, remember that you make your own happiness. Love yourself, live in the moment, and enjoy this beautiful day." So, just to circle back, there are people that it's not like they say things to us. Their words can sometimes be abrasive and rub us the wrong way, but there's an end result that nets a positive gain because it pushes us out of that complacency.
Yes, sir.
Then there's the other side of it. There's those people that just have those words and the things that they say and do to us continue to do nothing. They don't net us any positive gain. They don't necessarily take us out of where we are, but they actually draw us back into more dysfunction and a more just more of a destructive situation. Those people, regardless of if it's a loved one, a brother, a sister, an aunt, a friend, someone you work with, you have the responsibility to yourself to remove them. It doesn't mean that if it's a family member, it doesn't mean you don't love them. It just means that not everyone has a seat at our table.
I mean, it's period. It's levels.
That's it.
Levels in life. It's levels in everything. And some people just will always be trash. And I mean, you gotta.
I have a close family member right now. Who she continues to go around people that are less than, and I don't like to judge people, but if you don't have a job, if you're currently abusing cocaine, if you're sleeping with multiple women, one of them being somebody that I'm related to,
right.
if that's you, then you're a destructive person. And
period, point blank.
And that's who this person wants to spend their time with. Blank. So I therein have to take a step back. And it's hard when you really want the best and love somebody, but when you realize that you just are dumping stuff into an empty pit.
Either you keep choosing to or not. It's okay to take a step back. It's okay to walk ahead and leave people behind. People who play mind games want to weaken, confuse, manipulate, and hurt you. Whenever you're in their company and you feel smaller than who you really are, their words are cutting you down. Sometimes people weaponize their words to cause major damage.
Sure. Yeah.
We have to be careful of taking that kind of abuse from anyone at work or at home.
That's right. So we have to be samurai warriors for our peace of mind.
It's times when you should be quiet, but it's also times when you must, make a stand
or change.
Change.
If you're in a toxic environment, you can either you have two ways to go as far as you can accept and stay in that, and then you are responsible for the consequences because you've decided to stay in that, or you can you can literally remove yourself. And then there's a third. You really don't have to even participate. You can just stay silent, because sometimes silence is the best thing. We don't have to jump into every swamp. We don't have to jump into every, it's like, do you go run into an F5 tornado because it's destroying thing? Do you run out into a hurricane? No, you get the hell indoors and you stay away from it. Sometimes people are just destructive, and it's not that they were born as destructive beings, but whatever they've been subjected to has made them a destructive force. They're dysfunctional, and they want drama, and they hurt. And when you hurt, you want other people to hurt just like you do. And that's the end all result. People reflect how they feel inside, and if they're hurting, then in their mind, you're gonna hurt too.
You're either hurting or you're intentionally
Yeah, yeah. There's those
trying
people
to
too.
hurt others because of whatever reasons.
I think if you're trying to hurt people though, if you're really out there saying hurtful things, really just belittling people, making their lives as hard as possible, I would argue that you're probably living just as shitty of life.
If you doing something to intentionally hurt somebody,
that's just you're involved in that.
That
energy.
you know that you, don't mean you're a bad person. Just mean you intentionally choose to do the things you're doing to harm other people. So, bro, I want to ask you a question. What kind of words, curse words, negative energy, have you experienced? Rather, it's been
so I
just on your daily here. We're going to keep this here within the past 2 years, pandemic, people being in, switching jobs. Let's keep this here within this pandemic era. How things have been here recently, the past couple years.
Well, I was gonna say that I dealt with so much. I mean, my first, and I will say this: I dealt with so much trauma as a kid that I acted out, and nobody understood why I was acting out all through school. I was a troublemaker, this or that. They were, you'll end up in jail. You're never gonna amount to anything. Just adults that were around me, teachers. There was a lot of just. They only saw what they saw, and they didn't want to dig deeper to find out what the cause was, because on the surface had a mother that was an educator, and a father that was in education too, and just step parents that were also teachers, and my stepmom was a police officer, but still it seemed like everybody had a pillar of the community type job. So how could I have any issues? I just must be a bad seed.
Right.
Now, moving forward to today, I think that it's easy to, get labeled as far as, man, I really just, work is okay, but I really want to do these things outside. And, well, you're a lazy person, or you're not driven, and it just, when your pursuit isn't money, when your pursuit is constantly just peace and trying to ultimately bring that peace to not only yourself but those around you, then you get labeled. I mean, it's like that's not what this is about. This is about you gain as much, you get your castle as big as you can. You build this or you build that. That's success. That's this. And then when you try to do something other than that, you're questioned. You're labeled. I mean, it could be called laziness, or a lack of drive, or afraid of success.
Yes, sir.
But I think ultimately all of our perceptions of success can be totally different.
Yes, sir.
And for one person to say that everything is a round peg and a round hole, that's success, I would argue that they probably just have a way skewed perspective.
Yes, sir.
So, Will, have you ever used your words to purposely hurt someone?
Here, I try not to. So that is one of my number one things that I try not to do every day. Because when I say something, I mean it.
Mm-hmm.
When I say something, it's because it need to be said from my point of view. And so I don't want to intentionally hurt anyone. But at the core of who I am as a father, a son, a brother, a husband, a businessman, at the core of who I am, like I'm a warrior, man. I had to be a warrior coming up where I come from. So if I have to keep this warrior buried within me. So I have to be the opposite of who I truly am. If I'm looking at someone who has hurt me, I want to tell them, I will tear your head off. But I have to be the opposite of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the fight that I go through because, look, people who try to purposely hurt people, number one, they don't want to go to jail. Number two, they don't want to die. Number three, they don't want anyone around them hurt. So you never know who you could say the wrong thing to or who you could do the wrong thing to. And I fear no one, but there are people who think like I think. And at any given moment, I could say something to the wrong person, man, that could truly be the wrong person where I have to defend myself like they're going to defend themselves. And one of us get hurt.
Yeah.
So I really try not to say nothing to hurt anyone. Because if I am, you done hurt me.
Yeah. I think that's the key thing.
That's my biggest fight.
Well, I really feel like that's probably one of life's biggest lessons is not matching the energy that's given to us. Because then where are we? Like, what do we gain? So
if you got 10 times, right?
Yeah.
Do you not match it all 10 times?
I would have to. There's a lot of times, man, where I fall into that. I mean, like, it messes with me because I know. Like, okay, you know that you don't have to react to this. You know you don't. And then I just act like a damn maniac. And I'm just crazy as far as, I'll kill it. But, whatever. I fall back into some terrible thinking. So that's.
But who's to say it's terrible thinking?
It is terrible thinking.
Okay.
Because it takes away from, it makes me feel like shit. Like, and I can't function for days. Like I shut down. Like I mentally become special. I become special needs. Like I just can't think. My frontal lobe shuts the hell down.
But what if maybe it means, look, you can't keep letting things ride to build you up to that point.
If somebody knows they can get a reaction out of you, and you continue to give them that reaction. Some people, man, that's just their thing. They get off on it. They get off on a reaction.
But some people, some people could.
Like, and I would say
could jeopardize
more
themselves.
More people that say hurtful things to people are really looking for a reaction than anything else. I mean, why else do you do it? Well, you don't just say something hurtful and not expect something to be said back. It's like they need that. They feed off that drama. They feed off that energy. Just like people feed off love and compassion. There's the opposite to that. You always have a yin and a yang, So I really feel like if your whole thing is saying hurtful things or you're being hurtful to others, that's part of what you are. It's something that you have to have a part of you because 9 times out of 10, if you come at somebody crazy, they're going to come at you crazy back. They're going to. You're going to have some negative energy back at you, and that has to be something that these people feed off of.
Period. Hold on. You can tell someone is being emotionally abused when they withdraw from the conversation or get really silent. And I'm going to elaborate on that because I get really silent. Mm-hmm. And the thing that, an aggressive person isn't always an animal. But some people, aggression really does come behind someone could be hurt.
Yeah, like that's just like that breakup we all had, or a loss, something that truly bothers us and has a profound impact on our lives. We withdraw inward, and we don't want to talk to anybody. There's not shit you could tell me that's going to get me past this. And
yes, sir.
I think even though that's tough to choose to have others around to try to process. But sometimes maybe that's the only way you can get through it is to be alone and process.
And seriously, because some things, it's like, you just said it, man. Some things
you got to be on your own. You
have to.
It's your path.
It's like, man, I hate when I have to let things go and have to submit. So I submit to things because I know the level that I will go with things to where some people only hear and thinking it's here. So their response is like, I hate to let it go because it's like, I'm that animal. I keep telling you. Words hurt. Oftentimes, it begins with our parents and our close family members.
Sure. Some of the things, oh, you're stupid. Why are you so dumb? Why can't you get this? Like just little.
I still used to hear that.
Little things you hear as a kid, and you start to believe it. Oh, I'm just effing dumb. I can't. No, what it is,
You don't have nobody telling you. It sounds corny though, don't it?
Listen, I hated math, and my mom. I love my mother to death, first off, and she is like an angel. She has been through. She has always believed in me, always been supportive, but she was her numbers came to her like so quick and so easy. Dude, when they started putting letters into math, I was like, hell with that. Like I was in pre-algebra my junior year. Like shit, really. But being a kid, you don't realize that, what comes easy to us won't always come easy to our children. And that's where patience and understanding and love come in. Everything I'm saying, you learn in hindsight. Like, the way that I was parented, sure, my parents made mistakes. The way I parented, yes, I made mistakes. Everything, hindsight's always 20/20. But the main thing is the way we correct our children, the way we discipline our children, the way that we teach our children. If there is hurtful words involved, oftentimes maybe there'll be a lesson learned. But I would argue that there are even more oftentimes that you develop a bigger issue as far as self-doubt on that child's part.
Yes, sir. When someone speaks over you like you'll never be anything, you're just like your daddy.
Yeah.
I know my son heard that. No one cares about you. It can do some major damage to the heart and the mind of a person.
Yeah.
And you just spoke on it. I just was never one of those type people. I
remember my mom telling me that I was just like my dad, and that bothered me because I said, there was my dad's side of the family is all drinkers,
right.
And I swore that I wasn't going to be a drinker like that. I wasn't going to have that. I was going to break through that. And then there were times when I was younger where I despised it because I hated being around, just when certain people that you love are drunk. They're totally different. They're just aggressive, and they're, they're belligerent, and just it's not conducive to a happy life or a happy atmosphere. So I despised it at times, and there were some really great times, that I had with certain loved ones, but I didn't want to be around them while they were drinking. And when you have someone say that, hey, you're just like that, then it really hits home. Like, you become what you despise sometimes because that's what you're around. That you're around that. Just like you said there, you're just like your dad. You're just like your dad, or
yes, sir.
You don't care about your kids, or this or that, or this is drinking's more important than anything else, and that'll cut you, especially when you love your children and you want to be the best dad. That cuts you right down to the bone, man. So yeah, it's definitely. But I would also say that sometimes maybe you have to hear that because it lets you know what reality is.
Yes, sir.
We can lie to ourselves all the time. I lied to myself for 25 years saying that I didn't have an alcohol and a drug problem, and it finally, you finally get to a point where you can't lie to yourself anymore. But when somebody close to you says things like that, it really makes you think, and sometimes you need that spark to set the fire, yes, so you change.
Hey, do you have a caller?
No, I'm not going to call anybody off the rip. I like to plan stuff because everybody, when I tried to call people last time, like off the blue, it was it just was terrible. I was a train wreck. Tried to call Riley the one time, but he just I don't know. He might have been huffing paint. I don't know what the hell he was doing.
Well, this is going to be an interesting call with these questions.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing.
So
just left work.
Just left work. So everybody, This is my daughter, Amber. First of all, welcome to Get It Out.
How you doing, Amber?
Hello. Hello, how are you?
Real good. Glad you came on.
So, these questions, I mean, you keep it honest. I've been going through a journey as far as understanding you as a woman outside of my daughter. So, answer these questions because I know over the past decade or so, I've probably said some things to you that I didn't know better, that I thought was cool for me to say. So we're gonna ask you 3 questions, and first, you can keep it real simple. First, tell our listeners a little bit about yourself.
Um, I guess I'm Amber.
Like what you do, you know.
I do hair. My business is Classy Hands, AB's Classy Hands.
Nice.
Where I do hair, but I have a few different things that I want to file under the umbrella. So that's why I named it Classy Hands.
Dream chaser.
Exactly. I
So
got 2 kids.
that's right.
Amber,
That's a little bit about me.
we're talking about like today's show is based off of hurtful words, the staying away from people who play with your mind. And can you personally, is there anything that you can talk about as far as things that have been said to you, maybe through work or through maybe a loved one or something that has had detriment to your life, and the steps you took to kind of make sure that that wasn't going to continue to mess with your peace of mind and your happiness?
Actually, so I have very low tolerance, so this is easy for me. I have a problem when I feel like people say things or like do things to try to get in my head or play with my head or, make me think other than how I feel. I literally leave them right where they are
Nice.
because it'll drive me crazy. So
That's right.
I have to just leave people where they are, and I've found myself not even saying anything about it, just literally leaving them right where they are. Because I feel like as adults, we all know what we doing, we all know what we saying that's hurting people's feelings.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand that. Oh, I didn't know that I made you feel that
Right.
way.
Make people accountable for their actions and their words.
Exactly.
Even me.
Exactly.
Are you living out something negative that has been spoken over you, even if it's been from me that I might have said to you in the past?
Not really. I've forgiven and forgotten a lot of stuff. I try not to dwell on the negative.
Nice.
It just makes me miserable and depressed. So I just try to keep a positive mindset about everything, everybody. I really try to have, good stands with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Not that we have to be close or anything, but I just don't need anything bad happening to anybody, and then all we have is negativity that we've encountered together. So
Will and I have talked about this, but personally, I have family members that it seems like they're always submersed in negativity, always submersed in drama, always have to bring the worst to the table. And in my own life, I've had to, love them from afar. Not everybody has to have a seat at our table. You know what I mean? To keep our own peace. But how do you deal with, especially when it comes, I mean, that's the tough one when it's people that we love and, our family's supposed to be our rock, but sometimes they can hurt us more than, somebody that's not in
Seriously.
our family. How do you personally deal with that? Or if you've had any instances of that at all?
I have, and I do to this day. And like I said, I leave everybody where they are because, like you said, you can't bring everybody up with you, and I'm not forcing anybody to help me do anything or to be there for me to to be family. You know, I'm gonna always do my part, but I'm not forcing anybody to do anything. I will leave everybody right where they stand. If they don't want to hop on the bandwagon, then that's what it is.
Right.
And you know I'm not on this, but can you identify with people who need major help after coming out of a verbally abusive relationship? Because once upon a time, you and my sister told me that I was verbally abusive. And I've never heard that until I heard it those 2 times from both of you. And it really made me start evaluating a lot of things, because, you know, I mean what I say and say what I mean. So once again, can you identify with people who need major help after coming out of a verbally abusive relationship?
Sounds
Kind of, because things you said things to me that really had me like
Now tell the truth. Speak the truth.
effed up in the head.
And I-
Effed up in the head and made me feel like, you know, even though you my dad, I'm gonna leave you right where you stand
Mm-hmm.
because I'm just not gonna let anybody make me feel no type of way, especially if I don't want to feel that way.
right. And we had to
And you
learn our
you should try to
communication.
make us feel exactly. But you came a long way. You really have.
That's
I
pretty cool.
appreciate
It's
that.
that's pretty cool too, because there's in my life, as far as just with parents and, you know, adults that were around me, I still to this day, you know, some people never change. So there is something inherently good about that, as far as seeing that change can occur, because I think a lot of us get stuck in those things. Well, this is how they are and this is how they're always going to be. Nothing's ever going to change. But when you actually see that change, kind of changes your perspective as far as everything's an absolute. This is just how everything's always going to be. I mean, change is a cool thing regardless, but especially when someone's had an impact, a traumatic or a bad impact on you at one time.
Oh yeah, man. I didn't know how in the streets, everybody. I mean, I look at rappers, all type of cats. Everybody, whether you was or not, everyone was a gangster, but never understood that the most successful gangsters had to learn how to be a gentleman as well. You can't just be everything aggression, everything, and that's what I was. I had to learn who that person was that was always trying to help my family and balance it out with my warriorism, man. I'm telling you, I love drama. I love letting people know, like, don't mess with me, because I'm not gonna mess with you. But if you mess with me, boy, you're gonna.
I think if you
Gonna
get
feel
into, I would just say by default, if you get into selling drugs, that you like drama. I mean, that's just show me the peaceful drug dealer. I mean, I want to see where the hell that guy's at. Where's he live?
Hey, the dispensaries. But thank you, Evan. We appreciate you being on our show today. We didn't have a caller, so I appreciate you calling me so we could call you. And tell everybody the name of your company again.
The name of my company is AB's Classy Hands.
And where are you located?
I'm located on Breton Road, in the middle of like Avondale and Bond Hills. Not in the ghetto part.
That's right. Let it be known.
That's great. I'm
Not in the ghetto part.
Let it be known. You work too hard for that. So we appreciate you
too
being.
hard.
We appreciate you being on the show.
yeah. Thanks a lot, Amber, and really happy for your success. Hope you have more continued success.
That's right.
And I love the. We do have to leave certain people behind, and I think you'll agree, though. Even if it's a loved one and we leave them behind, it doesn't mean that we don't have to, that we stop loving them. Again, it just means that they don't have to play a part, an active
Period.
role.
What you say, everybody can't sit at the table.
No.
All right, thank you, Bo.
All right, love you.
Love
See
you
ya.
too. Bye. So boom, bye.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
Tips.
I wanted to be honest, man, because
Well,
you know I don't play.
our-
We just been talking
There's been
3-4 months, and I ain't talked to in a year because I don't play that shit.
Yeah.
Real talk, bro. I judge my daughter, my sister, any woman, any man. To me, it's not blood or not. Like, my rules don't apply different because you're my blood.
Mm-hmm.
If this is right, this is right, family or not.
So
if it's wrong, it's wrong.
And that's something that I've struggled with because I always had this thing where you do anything for your family. You do anything for your family. But in that mentality, I've gotten myself in some terrible situations.
Real talk.
And now through growth, I've realized that, man, that's some bullshit. You got
Real talk.
You have to,
I'm not going to let nobody in my family.
Just like she said, you got to leave them where they stand sometimes.
Somebody on the street can't smack me in the face.
But, I mean, you let your family.
But I'm going to let my cousin smack me in the face? No.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get it out. When people purposely hurt you with their words, you can fire back with repeating positive words about yourself. No one has the power to speak lies and confusion into your life. Not yours, only you. You can hold on to the positive thoughts you have about yourself by living them out loud. Don't let negative words and people keep you from success. It's the goal. Your destiny is great. If you dreamed it, you can have it. No one has the right to take that away from you. If words can kill, they can also heal, in the words of the big lovable teddy bear, Big Pat.
That's the best thing. That's the best thing he said, because words can definitely heal. Words can definitely heal, and there needs to be more of that.
And they can kill.
They can kill if we allow them to.
Cool.
They can kill if we allow them to. But again, it's I would say 99% of the time it's in our power.
Yes, sir. You've been listening to Hustle and Heart, where we confront hard issues like life after prison, addiction, and failure. Here to give you all the jewels you need to treasure your life and motivate you to go after the life you want. I'm your host, William Hustle, and if you've liked what you've heard, feel free to subscribe and share. You can head over to William Lyles today to stay connected. If you'd like to be a part of our conversation as one of our callers, DM Pat Hamill or William Lyles for more information. Remember that when you know who you are, you can be free anywhere.
Much love.
One.